How's it going, you wonderful people? It's Jay, and in today's video we're going to look at our predictions for Nintendo in 2023. What a super exciting year for Nintendo. The Switch enters its 6th year on the market and there are plenty of exciting games in store, including the sequel to Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and also Pikmin 4 in store this year, plus plenty of amazing DLC. But what about the things Nintendo haven't talked about? What about the things that could happen this year? In today's video we're going to look at 15 possibilities for Nintendo this year. It was heavily rumoured last year, the return of the much loved 3D Metroid Prime series. Months went by and nothing. Leaks and rumours fizzled out like Ridley being blasted off into the bitterness of space. Could this year be the year of Samus once again? We know that somewhere, in some dark top secret office, that Metroid Prime 4 is supposedly in the works, so why not introduce new players into the timeline by remastering the original Prime games? Metroid Dread performed incredibly well and really saw a resurgence in the series, so 2023 would be the perfect time to remaster Metroid Prime. This one is probably super likely and maybe a little bit obvious, but the DLC for Pokémon Scarlet and Violet would make so much sense. The pair of games launched late last year and became the quickest selling Nintendo and Pokémon game ever. Despite some technical niggles, the duo raked in 10 million new players in just 3 days. The hype for Pokémon is still there, and getting expanded DLC areas plus fan favourite classic critters would be a great way to keep the game going without having to create another mainline Pokémon game. Of course, it couldn't be a new year without more Pokemon content. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company could keep the interest flowing by bringing out more spin-off titles. One of these could be the elusive Detective Pikachu 2 game. We haven't heard much about the sequel, and a relatively quiet year could be a good time to slot in a little pipe-smoking Pikachu content. The game could even tie into Scarlet and Violet by introducing some Gen 9 Pokemon, and even a little detour into Paldea would be amazing. From Pokemon to me, could we finally see a return to Tomodachi Life? I often include this long lost 3DS gem into the mix given how much of the fan base loves this game. If you're unfamiliar about Tomodachi Life, this game sees you create Mii characters that move in together. Friends, relationships, arguments, weird outings. The game was an absolute meme on the 3DS, and it's about time Nintendo revisit the concept and keep the Mii alive with a Switch sequel or port. Donkey Kong deserves a new game, and a 3D outing would be incredibly fitting for the Kong clan. With Donkey Kong and his banana-loving posse having what looks like quite a big role in the upcoming Super Mario film, it could be the perfect time to really spotlight the slightly neglected franchise. We only ever had a single 3D Donkey Kong game on the Nintendo 64, so it's about time we get another attempt. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a great example of a recent 3D platformer, so maybe HAL could really give Donkey Kong a good go. We've had golf, we've dueled in tennis and scored in football, so what's left for Mario and his sports games? It's unlikely we get another one of these main sports spin-offs until a new console, but could we get another compilation game? A sequel to Mario Sports Superstar would be a neat thing to see, perhaps introducing less common sports events into the mix, a solid RPG mode to really build up your sporting career. It's been almost 2 years since Nintendo launched the Bowser Fury expansion for Super Mario 3D World on the Switch, so what have the Mario team been working on since then? A new chapter in the Odyssey adventure would go down a treat, or perhaps something completely different entirely. Maybe a 3D adventure game that ties into the upcoming movie could be a good shout. Whatever Nintendo decide to do with the next Mario game, it could really be a great way to wrap up 2023. Game Boy games! I've made a few videos on this now, but it just has to happen. It seems like an absolute no-brainer, especially now that we've got the NES, SNES and N64 games available on the Switch. Game Boy games have an incredible lightweight and they emulate well. Plus, there's a huge untapped catalogue to tuck into as well. Handheld Mario, Donkey Kong, Pokemon games, these would be amazing to preserve, as well as some of the rarer RPGs on the Game Boy Advance as well. Speaking of Switch Online, how about the more obscure games being added to the existing catalogues? We already have some rare games like Pokemon Stadium and even GoldenEye on the way this year, so there are loads of possibilities for long lost games to really make an appearance. I would love to see more rare N64 classics coming over, license permitting, like Diddy Kong Racing, or even lesser known projects like Jet Force Gemini. Getting games like Banjo-Tooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day would be a great touch to really boost the catalogue. 2023 will be the anniversary of Star Fox. The series is turning 30 and has given us several trips into the deepest regions of space. Classic characters, epic bosses, the Switch really needs to tap into the series. We had an entry on the Wii U that looked incredible visually, but kind of fell over when it came to those slightly more experimental controls. Reworking it with more traditional controls options would be an easy Switch port. Star Fox Zero deserves a bigger audience. 2023 is also the year of the Mario Party anniversary, with the series celebrating 25 years in December. As part of the anniversary celebrations, how about extra content in the Mario Party Superstars, or maybe a sequel that incorporates some of the boards in the more recent outings, drawing perhaps from Mario Party 4 through to Mario Party 7, would be amazing. At this point, will we ever get GameCube games on Switch? Probably not. It's a lot easier to emulate older games than it is to emulate the more recent GameCube and Wii games. That said, some GameCube classics would be great to have on Switch, and Nintendo could even launch a kind of classics range where older certain games are remastered and available to buy. Kind of like how they did it with Super Mario Sunshine. It's a great example of how GameCube games can run really well on Switch. Games like F-Zero GX, Pokémon Colosseum, and even the original Luigi's Mansion would be great to see upscaled on Switch. Splatoon 3 is definitely one of the biggest Switch games of 2022, with loads of fresh content, weapons and maps to devour. Is DLC possibly a bit early? Maybe. Perhaps a big summer release with additional content could really boost the game. New story campaigns that expand on the Splatoon lore would be a great way to flesh out the experience. The Advance War remakes are a little bit in limbo due to Nintendo putting the release on hold and world events, but hopefully there'll be room in the 2023 lineup for Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Especially as the game was originally set for release at the end of 2021, it's a fan classic with so much love for the series, and it would be great to see it finally on Switch. The final prediction of this video is perhaps something not everyone would want to hear, but I think no Switch successor for 2023. Of course, that doesn't mean that there isn't one, because Nintendo are always thinking of new hardware, but the Switch is still selling incredibly well. There are lots of big games in store, so perhaps we'll see something in 2024, but I don't think we'll see any sequel successor consoles in 2023. So there we go, 15 little ideas, predictions for what Nintendo might be up to this year. Some maybe a little bit more likely than others. Let us know what you thought of our predictions with a comment below, and also your ideas, your predictions for Nintendo in 2023. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you love Nintendo and retro games and all that good stuff, be sure to join the conversation on our Discord. We're trying to build up a little community of like-minded Nintendo fans. Check out the link below. If you like this video, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And before you move on to the next video, be sure to check out our exclusive merch, Geeky and Gaming Designs voted for by you. Links are in the description below. So there we go, 2023, loads of exciting games in store, lots to play this year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!